So the Alvin Kamara footage is out, and it's bad. We've seen some bad quality version of the Alvin Kamara footage leaked, and it was blurry. It was of a guy probably named Bob that held his phone up against a monitor about 5 feet away, trying to get a dime or a little bag off TMZ, and he did a piss poor job. This guy Bob, I hope he didn't get $25 for that first footage. But the actual footage that was shown to the grand jury was released. I was going to do a live stream. I had it all ready to go, and then this news kind of broke, and the footage got released. And I'll put the footage on my Instagram so you guys can watch the actual footage. It's much clearer. It shows both angles from both sides of the hallway. Double A, who we consider our video expert and security expert on the channel. Maybe he'll dial in a second. Double A, if you're watching, dial in. But there's two angles, just like Double A told us. There would be one down the hall, and there's one, the angle that we saw of a blurry version, because, like I said, some Bob held the phone up against the monitor, tried to make a buck. The footage that was shown, we believe this is the exact clarity of the footage, was released, and I'm going to have it on my Instagram in a little bit, but it is bad. It is bad. It shows two angles. Alvin Kamara clearly doing some massive damage to the victim, and his crew doing even more pulverizing of this individual. And he's clearly down. They continue to kick him, but Alvin Kamara is in some trouble. Now, we talked about this with Tony, the attorney who came on. We're going to break it all down in more. The Fantasy Football Show, this emergency surprise live stream on Alvin Kamara begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
We still may draft after we talk about this for a little bit. So this is an emergency live stream. This breaking news here, the video, the better quality version with multiple angles has been released of Alvin Kamara and his entourage beating an individual. I'm not going to sit here and say that the other individual didn't do something to deserve some sort of altercation, but no one deserves to get beat into the ground, what appears to be unconscious, and have multiple kicks continue to ensue when you're down and unconscious and not moving. And there's 2, 3, 4 guys on one. So it's not like, you could sit here and say, okay, the guy deserved, to get talked to, shall we say. But nobody deserves what this guy ended up getting handed to him on this crazy evening where Alvin Kamara just completely pulverized the guy into the ground. So this footage will be on my Instagram. I'll put it up as soon as this live stream ends. It is bad. It is bad. It shows the first angle similar to the one that was released, very blurry version earlier. And we knew that wasn't the original version, or the version that they'd show to a grand jury or to a jury trial or to the NFL. The NFL clearly saw the more clear version at some point because they have that kind of power. But this video is bad, and it shows Alvin Kamara. You can clearly tell it's him. He goes over and just starts connecting on this guy. And there's a report, according to the source here. It says that he said he connected really good with the guy's jaw, and he was talking about it, bragging about it after the fact. But when the camera flips around to the other side and it shows you the other angle, you can see it clear as day that it's Alvin Kamara. And there was no question about that anyway. It was just a matter of people would say something like, hey, Smitty, that footage is so blurry, it's not going to hold up in court, as if that footage that we did see months ago was actually clear. It wasn't. It was a blurry version of it. So this is tough to say. That we had Tony the attorney on, what was it, like a week ago, to discuss this topic, and that there are two charges. The conspiracy. Let me pull them up and we'll put them on screen here. But there are two ways this thing could go. If Alvin Kamara pleads guilty to conspiracy, let me pull this up. Then it's a lot lesser charge. So there's a concern here that from people that think he's going to just like skate free from this, that if he does commit or plead guilty to the conspiracy piece of this, that he could slip away from this and basically have no, obviously, jail time, probably still play in 2023 at some point, but could miss at least, I don't know, 4 to 6 games, maybe 8 games, maybe half a season. The optics of this are horrible. Even if he does commit, let's say, or he pleads guilty. Let me see if I can put this on here. Here it is. Let me read it to you. Clark County Grand Jury, this is old news right here. Clark County Grand Jury has indicted Alvin Kamara and 3 accomplices on conspiracy to commit battery and battery resulting in substantial bodily injury. So there are 2 different pieces here. There's the battery and that results in bodily injury. Double A, try calling one more time. I missed it. And then there's the conspiracy to commit battery. Now, the conspiracy piece is a much lesser charge. We're talking way lesser, to the point where it's not even that severe of a charge in a sense, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of what happened here. The battery resulting in substantial bodily harm is the bad one. If he's found guilty of that and he isn't able to take a plea on just the conspiracy part, which is what I think Alvin Kamara's legal counsel will probably, if I had to guess, advise him to do, is take a plea if it's even offered. If he doesn't accept a plea or get a plea and he actually gets convicted of the battery resulting in substantial bodily harm, that's the one that could take him out for a season. That's the one that if he's convicted of that, he's probably out. He's probably done for the entire year. I don't know if he ever plays again, or if he does, he'll be, older, and who knows what he's gonna, even how he's even gonna perform at that point when he's, out of the league for a year or whatever. If he is only convicted of the conspiracy one, as Tony alluded to on our live stream last time when we had Tony call in, that might result in a 2 to 6, 2 to 8 game suspension because of the charge. Double A, did you get a chance to see the footage yet?
No, not the newest one that you're talking about.
Yeah, let me send it to you real quickly. And then yeah, you can take a look at it. It's crazy, bro. It's pretty bad. I don't know if this is the exact footage that your boss or your buddy saw, but this shows both angles, just like we had talked about, and you said there probably is an angle down the hall. Let me send you the footage right now. I'm gonna send this to what DM group are you in on IG?
The Graveyard.
The Graveyard.
Well,
Okay.
both of them actually. Either one of them.
Okay, I'll send it to the Graveyard right now. So it's in the Graveyard chat right now. Check that out, and you can view that while we're on. Keep the volume down if you could, because I don't want any sound on it. But it's okay. First of all, there's some dude in a hoodie that is not Alvin Kamara. That's part of Alvin Kamara's entourage. This guy did a majority of the damage. It's bad. This guy in the hoodie, I don't know. This guy's going to get a ton. But Alvin Kamara is the one that comes in, strikes, and essentially puts the guy into sleep mode. And then the guy in the hoodie just finishes him off. The guy in the hoodie comes in and just completely pulverizes the guy while he's unconscious, not moving. And Alvin Kamara put him in sleep mode. And then they flip to the other side. I'll put this on my Instagram. You guys will see it very, very soon. Just absolute brutality. The brutality of this is insane. So the optics, Tony came on Double A. I don't know if you're seeing it yet. You see it yet? Double A? Maybe he's not on the live right now because he's watching it. But the optics of this thing, unless you muted me and you don't know that you're not muted. The optics of this are horrible. So even if, let's say what Tony said, from a legal perspective, Tony's right. If Alvin Kamara pleas, and a plea's not settle, you're not settling. There's no settlement here. Everyone says, oh, he'll settle. There's no settlement. This is criminal. Criminal's different. There's a plea. He can plea out. Pleading means you're saying, yeah, I'm guilty of a lesser charge, or he's saying I'm neither guilty or innocent, and I'm going to accept a plea, which in a sense is a form of guilt. In the eyes of the NFL, accepting a plea is going to be looked at as a form of guilt in the eyes of the NFL. But accepting a plea to a lesser charge of the conspiracy, that's what the plea is going to be. He's not gonna accept a plea to both of these. He's gonna accept a plea if he does, if he's even offered a plea to the lesser charge of in my opinion. And I'm no legal mind, but you know, I've been around for a while, and we have amazingly talented legal minds come on the show all the time to explain it. And to my understanding, if he is offered a plea, not a settlement, there's no settlement in that's in civil, then he is most likely going to. I'm going to give you the link on my IG, bro. So hang tight. After this show, I'll put it up. But it's bad, bro. It's bad. It's brutal. Brutal. Double A, are you there?
Yeah, I stepped away. I was trying to.
That's right. I can barely hear you. You're real quiet. Did you end up getting to watch it?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's so much clearer than the first version, as we predicted.
You really start to see the difference between standing back with the phone and then imagine you like taking it off your television. That's kind of the equivalent here, where when you would watch it actually from the camera itself and the video, it would be just so much sharper. There would be no doubt as to who was involved.
Yeah. There's zero doubt. I'm gonna try and edit this and put it on my IG while everybody's sitting here. So hang tight, and I'll throw this up on my IG. It's crazy. I mean, Alvin Kamara literally comes in. So let me rewind this. I'm gonna go through slow mo. So Alvin Kamara, let's see here. Alvin Kamara comes in. Okay, here we go. Alvin Kamara comes in, and when the guy hits the ground, Alvin Kamara connects 1, 2, 3. So he connects on at least 3, 4 punches in a row. It's Alvin Kamara. It's not the other guys. It's Alvin Kamara initiating the contact, and he's just laying into the guy's face. The guy's unconscious, or almost unconscious at this point. Maybe he's not quite unconscious. Alvin Kamara goes back to pick up like his phone or something that he dropped. And after he does walk away, he's starting to walk away. But the guy that is with him with the hoodie and jeans, it looks like. So after Kamara, so as soon as Kamara starts punching him, 1, 2, the guy in the hoodie's already kicking. So like, let me count the amount of kicks this guy has to the guy's head. It looks like his head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it cuts away. 9 kicks to this guy's face like this. I'm serious, bro. It's like this hard. Boom, 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 boom. Straight to his face. Like 9 times. It's brutal. It's brutal. So I'm going to try and put this on my Instagram. So hang tight, guys. While I edit this. But Double A, so Tony said that if he pleads to the lesser conspiracy charge, that Tony could potentially envision a 2 to 8 game suspension. But I think the optics are so bad on this that it wouldn't shock me if the NFL didn't even take into consideration the plea or what he plead to, like if it's conspiracy or the other charge of bodily injury, and they just say, look, we can't have you during Pro Bowl week. It's not like this is in the off season, not that makes it any better, but it's not like it's in the off season where Kamara's on some family vacation, he gets heckled and he loses his cool. This is during Pro Bowl week, right? Didn't it happen during wasn't it the night before? Refresh my memory. I'm forgetting on if it was the night before. The night before?
I thought it was the night of. I thought it was after. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you're representing an entire organization at an event.
This is brutal, bro. It's so bad.
I think we've talked about it before. Like, if this doesn't get you, a half a season suspension, or this doesn't get you a full year suspension, then I don't know. I keep thinking about, like, Calvin Ridley gets a year for gambling, and it's like, I understand that that's important, but some guy getting curb stomped in the hallway of a hotel seems like we should probably put that with a little bit of
yeah. I don't even understand how anybody could even justify. Like, there's some people that go to bat for Kamara and trying to like say, oh, he got heckled. It's like, bro, don't even start with that. Don't even start with that. He got heckled. Like, give me a break. I'm gonna put this on. Let's see here. I'm gonna put this on Instagram right now. So hold on. Let me load it up. The Alvin Kamara video footage released. What?
Can you imagine if every time an athlete got heckled, they got to do something like this?
Yeah, this is crazy, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna put this up right now on Instagram, and then I'm gonna drop the link in the live chat so everybody can watch it, because I know everybody's wanting to see it. It's pretty bad, bro. It's pretty bad. Alvin Kamara footage. And I don't even know, does this look like it's the original footage based on your... Or is this even like a copy of it or something like that? That's blurrier. I don't know. It looks pretty clear.
I was going to go back and take another look at it. I could hear you say my name as I pulled the video, and then I could hear the reporter, and I didn't want to have I wasn't sure if the audio...
Okay, so let me drop the link for everybody, and Rock Out, or I'm sorry, Rock Double A, calling you Rock Out. I'm gonna drop the link in the live chat right now, and you can use this link too. All right, here we go, guys. Anybody that wants to see the video, I'm gonna drop it in the link in the live chat right now and pin it. Here it is. Let me see. Let me copy the link. There it is. That's the Alvin Kamara footage right there. Alvin Kamara footage. Let me actually repost that. There we go. I'm gonna go in and pin that in the live chat right now so you guys can check it out. But man, this is brutal. I mean, you called it Double A. You said it was going to be an alternate angle to it, and certainly there was. And that alternate angle is crazy. Disgusting. All of them were okay beating a man, says Liz. I agree. Everybody makes mistakes. We'll learn from it and grow as a person. Come on, Alex. Everybody does make mistakes, Alex, but he's not going to grow from this, bro. Like, I mean, his career's over. I mean, he's at the end of his career. How's he going to grow from this?
So I have to comment on this. It looks like the first part of it might be a recording, and then the part where you see the backs of the people looks a little bit sharper, if you notice.
Yeah. I believe you're right. I think they maybe took the original footage and put that in there too. So we got a copy of that maybe leaked footage on top of a much clearer version, or maybe they zoomed in and they lost clarity. Yeah, it's one thing to have a mistake, Alex. Is another thing to like literally beat a man to where he has eye socket surgery. I believe he had shoulder surgery, broken or fractured skull. And granted, the guy in that I don't know what color that hoodie is. It looks like a pink hoodie with the color of this, but I don't know exactly what color it really is. It could be the color of the camera. But the fact that so Kamara laying, at least 3-4 punches, getting the guy to a point where he's unconscious, and this guy literally like 11 kicks. It's insane. That guy in that hoodie needs to really, really, be accountable for this. That's just, like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're pushed to the limit of something, like in this scenario, like I could understand somebody giving me one of the craziest like scenarios that you could ever dream up that would make you, protecting a family member that was like in trouble or something, and like or life was in danger by somebody, and that you do this. I would totally understand that. That's totally different. But this guy, to everything we know about this guy, he probably said some horrible verbal things to Alvin Kamara. The report is that Alvin Kamara tried to get on an elevator, or I'm sorry, the guy tried to get on an elevator with Alvin Kamara and his entourage, And so the guy, Alvin Kamara, reportedly put his hand on the guy to like, you know, hey, next elevator, bro. You're not getting on this one. And the guy slapped Alvin Kamara's hand down, which technically was on him, you know. And that slap initiated this jumping of this guy. We don't know what he said to Kamara, but it doesn't even matter. What he said to Kamara, certainly, I don't care what it was. I don't care what it was. Nobody can say something to you that should have you go into this mode, or you've got problems. And it's not something you learn from. The guy in the hoodie, though, that guy's, you know, clearly, I would say more, it's brutal. It's brutal to watch. Especially the angle when it shows the close-up blurry version, the guy in the hoodie. No regard for the guy's life. Literally. The guy in the hoodie has no regard for whether that guy lives or dies. Zero regard. Maybe Alvin Kamara does. Maybe that's what they'll argue. But I don't see how the NFL can let him come back on the field this year. I might be wrong, and I want people to understand I'm not necessarily predicting that the NFL will take action to the extent of an entire season. They may. They should. I mean, they should. My opinion is Alvin Kamara shouldn't play football in 2023, period. That's my stance. I'm allowed to have that. This is my channel. I can have an opinion if I want. But the NFL, your guess is as good as mine, guys. I don't know if the NFL is going to actually, if he pleads guilty to the conspiracy charge only, I don't know what the NFL could do. Tony's legally saying, Tony said that 2 to 6 games, 2 to 8 games is probably what a conspiracy charge would get you. But the optics of this footage are absolutely ridiculous. And the footage, if you want to watch, is on my IG. Link is pinned in the live chat. The optics are horrible. Let's see what some of you guys are saying.
The original video that we saw.
You what?
From behind them. Wasn't the original video we saw from behind them as they approached? Is that the second video? The second part of the video is that what we see?
I don't remember. All I can say is that, you know, it's still blurry, but it's zoomed in, which is why I think it's a little blurrier. I bet you the zoomed out version is not blurry, but it's zoomed in so you can really see that it's Alvin Kamara, where Alvin Kamara is standing.
Because I think the first one we saw was the other direction, where you might have been able to say we didn't really know who it was.
Right.
The first part of this video looks like it's coming from another camera going the opposite direction, which is what I was kind of thinking. Like maybe it's a left to right and up and down.
Instagram.
Hotel setup.
Go check. Yeah, go check my IG. I have the link pinned in the live chat if you want to watch the video. Let's see what
that second part.
A little smack on the hand and he's back on the field. Such BS. Don't do it again. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't. Plus, Alvin Kamara, think about it this way. If the NFL is about money and the NFL is all about money and ticket sales, he didn't have a good year. He's potentially dropping off. So if anybody wants to use that argument, I don't know that the NFL is on all that on board Alvin Kamara right now. Like, oh, we need him on the field for ticket sales and for. I don't think that's an argument anymore. If he had had a huge year, it'd be a different story. Maybe there's someone wanted to argue that point, but I don't think that's gonna have anything to do with it being a big name. He's not a big name anymore to a lot of people. Forgot his name. Maybe Smitty remembers, but it was the article about being indicted. I'm not sure what you mean, Ron. I didn't catch the first part of what you guys are talking about, but let me see what you guys.
The Saints would release him?
Yeah, definitely a shot that the Saints release him. And I want to know. I wish Tony was around. It's too late. It's 11 p.m. my time. That means Eastern. It's 1 p.m. If you're watching, dial in. Or if Baked In Boys is around, dial in. He's our other attorney on call. But I wonder if in his contract, if this could potentially get the Saints out of owing him money or something, you know, like Deshaun Watson. these contracts don't really have some of this stuff in there, but sometimes they do. Deshaun Watson's new contract said that any future issues that come up could potentially void, some of the money or the whole contract, depending on what it was. But his contract, Alvin Kamara's, may not have anything specific about this, but it wouldn't shock me if the Saints looked into it and there was some way to cut him, and this is a breach of contract or something. Never know.
Exactly.
Who watched the video? Who watched the video on my Instagram? Raise your hand if you watched the video on my Instagram. I would like to know if you watched it and what you thought of the video. If you thought it was worse than it was, did you think it was going to be worse, or was it worse than you imagined? 9 p.m. AK time, okay. Where's the footage? It's pinned in the live chat, bro. He's going to get suspension 4 to 6 games, says Philly. He's definitely getting suspended. That's a 100% certainty. But the NFL's in a bind. They're in a little bit of a pickle if they throw this guy back onto the field. But we'll see. You know what's crazy is things are never as bad as you think, or they're worse than you think. They're never usually what you think. and when this footage was released last time, and it was a blurrier version of this, nobody cared. We were the only ones that went live on it. Isaac's seen the video on my Instagram. I've got it pinned in the live chat. Nathan's just watched it. Rockout just watched it. Andres just watched it. Kamara should be done for good, says Tommy. Hob G, it was whack, senseless. Ricky, seen it. Romez, I don't know if someone's going to come in here defending it, but I would urge you to tread lightly, because it's not going to be a good look if you come in and say, well, he should be, guy was yelling at him, tossing slurs his way, whatever. Like, that's not going to get him out of what just happened and transpired here. Unless there's another angle, like, I'll say this. You never know. Unless there's another angle that shows, is Alvin Kamara better lawyer up? Of course, he's been lawyered up from the beginning of this, bro. Unless there's another angle that shows, like, this guy, like, have a weapon or something crazy that's not being told right now, there's no shot at Alvin Kamara arguing in front of a jury, or he's pleading. He's going to plea so that he doesn't go to jail. Prison. He'll plea. And the plea's going to make the NFL react. Just watch when you post.
That there was 2 other NFL players involved in that.
Yeah, let me see if I can find out the names. But
I thought there was one from Kansas City. So that's another thing, that the 2 other players were identified early on, which I thought was interesting. They knew who those 2 guys were pretty quickly, and then they were, we kind of haggled back and forth on whether that was Alvin Kamara. But I'm almost positive one was the Chief.
Yeah, let's see here. So let's see. This was as of February. This is 2022. Okay, this is old, so I don't know if this got debunked or if anything in here is not correct. But there is a cornerback on the Kansas City Chiefs with the same name as one of the defendants. So there might have been some confusion that somebody thought it was.
Ron Navy said that was Chris Lemons from Cincinnati. I thought there was 3 of them.
Well, but again, we're not sure. I want to be careful here, because it said right here that one of the individuals that was involved had the same name as a Kansas City Chief player, but it wasn't the player. So I don't know for certain who is included. Let's see, Chris, yeah. Yeah, it looks like maybe 2 others indicted, but I don't know if they're NFL players. Yeah, this is gonna be tough, because there was somebody that they thought was involved that wasn't. So I don't know if I'm gonna say their names, because I don't even know. Cincinnati Bengals, Chris Lemons, that's for sure, have been indicted 1 year after beating outside a Las Vegas strip club. A Clark County grand jury indicted both NFL stars, Lemons and Kamara, on battery resulting in substantial bodily harm and conspiracy to commit battery. Again, one's very different from the other. Conspiracy would be like, let's say you took someone's car and you were conspiring to take someone's car. Taking the person's car is a lot different than conspiring to do it and not going through with it or whatever. So it's weird that you could even, like, that's pretty ridiculous that gets thrown on there. I don't know if we'd have to ask Tony or Baked In Boys why you would even bring both of those charges up. Part of me thinks I'm not a legal mind, but I did do mock trial in high school. You know what I'm saying? So, I bring a little bit of craftiness to this topic, but I would imagine the reason you have so many different charges is because you would want to make sure that he can't skate on the bigger one. So, like, let's say they can't prove something, or he, loses one aspect of it, that you have all these charges here. At least the conspiracy one he's going to be guilty of. So, like, he can't walk from it. That would be my guess as to why you'd have a lesser charge mixed with it that doesn't even like feel like it's a big charge. Conspiracy though, with the video footage, with the public, the pressure from the public eye, that to me feels like the NFL is gonna not take into account so much that it was conspiracy. Because who decides this? Roger Goodell or Roger Goodell's minion that Roger Goodell tells what to do, right? I can't see Roger Goodell saying, hold on, let's see. This is the NFL script, by the way. But hold on. According to this, conspiracy to commit bodily injury and actually, getting convicted. Yeah, one is a 3-game suspension. The other is a 14-game suspension. Goodell doesn't have something like an answer key. He'll literally go with the way the wind's blowing. You know what I mean? And so if Goodell says, oh, this is bad optics, the video's out, everyone's talking about it, unlike last time, I'm going to give him an indefinite suspension. Because Calvin Ridley was suspended for 1 year, and then he's got to reapply. Josh Gordon was suspended indefinitely, and we didn't even know when he was coming back. Now, that was a little bit different time. Before some NFLPA discussions and negotiations have happened and things like that regarding the exempt list and all that. But still, there's a certain part of Roger Goodell's capability here that could strip him away without a firm deadline or finite amount of time. And then you just kind of don't hear anything for a while. Roger Goodell says he can reapply next year, and maybe he lets him in, maybe he doesn't. Like you said earlier, and like we've said on previous live streams, a release by the Saints wouldn't be crazy. If the Saints come out tomorrow morning and release Alvin Kamara, wouldn't shock me in the slightest. If the Saints come back and say we're going to let this play out in court, we're not doing anything, that wouldn't shock me in the slightest at all. The NFL could sit back and let the legal process play out and not do a thing. That would shock me a little bit. I think what happens is what Tony and I mapped out on the last call about a week ago, that the NFL probably says, hey, we're going to sit you. Okay, you're on the commissioner exempt list paid. We have an obligation to let you go to court, even though the footage looks bad. You're innocent till proven guilty in the real world, and we're now letting the legal system and criminal play out before we take action. But you're going on the exempt list paid, therefore you're not being punished. You're on it paid, and they can do that. And then when it's all over, they either deem that, he's done, he's suspended for a year. But here's the crazy part, is if he goes on the exempt list paid, and this thing drags out a little bit because Kamara wants to push it forward again, which Tony said is not in his best interest at all, because if he can plead to the conspiracy charge, and given his age and the fact that he's not going to, he's obviously not going to be able to play 3 years from now, 2 years from now, like he could play this year, that it's in his best interest to speed this along and try and plead guilty to the conspiracy charge and hope that the lesser charge gets him back on the field in 2023. If he drags this out, my guess is he goes on the exempt list, doesn't play, and then when it's all played out and done, and let's say the trial ends in December, he's going to get the year suspension for 2024. So everybody's watching it. The video is bad, but Ray Lewis helped cover up. Look, bro, that was a while ago. I know what you're saying, but that was a while ago in a different NFL with different social. There was no social media back then. like there is today at all. So things spread differently, perceptions different. We're in, a different world than we were back then. And this is different, bro. This is different. This is much different. And with footage like this, I don't know that you can sit here and say, okay, the NFL is going to take a you're innocent till proven guilty stance. They're going to say, look, think about it from like the Ray Rice and Kareem Hunt situation. That footage alone was evidence enough for the NFL to act. Now, should you be innocent till proven guilty where you don't go to jail or prison until something plays out in court? Absolutely. But there's some situations where somebody does actually go to jail or prison awaiting trial. And you know what I mean? So it's not like it's all, every situation is going to be different. And in Kamara's case, I'm not saying Kamara should sit in a cell and be in there until the trial's over, but the NFL can absolutely say, we don't want the optics of this and you're paid leave until we find out. So we'll see. But this footage is bad. I meant to come on here and draft. I had a whole other video mapped up to talk about the Derek Carr situation, Aaron Rodgers. I'll probably do that video tomorrow because some of that news might even be updated for tomorrow. Brock Purdy needs more time before they'll dig into his surgery, and that'll be in March. So we got some quarterback stuff to talk about, so we're going to go ahead and tackle that tomorrow. I still may do a draft here. I'm watching this footage over and over. It's crazy, man. Alvin Kamara's in some trouble.
You're right, too. There might still be more.
Yeah.
There might be another angle. I mean, there might. I just can't believe we haven't seen this on. Well, I guess I can believe, but ESPN or Fox Sports or nobody wants to take this. I mean, I guess it shows you the kind of power that the NFL and these people have.
I mean, here's the thing though: is like Alvin Kamara's maybe no longer a star. So if anybody thinks that he's just going to skate away from this, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case for a player in his positioning. I don't think that he just skates by. I think that, like everyone's saying, he's not going to do prison time. He's not going to. You never know. You never know. Like if a normal citizen did this, they would most certainly be subject to like prison time. The only thing this makes me think, okay, again, you can't settle. Just so people know, it's all about money. The guy just wants money. He gets money. He's going to go away. You can't settle. It's not that kind of case. It's criminal. What you can do is plea, and in the plea there could be damages, medical damages. The monetary damages in civil are different than the monetary damages in like a criminal case. So in the civil case, the civil side of it, he could settle. In 90% plus of all civil cases in the United States, they settle. They almost never go the distance. They settle. So Alvin Kamara will most certainly settle with this man in civil. But in criminal, there's no settlements. There's no such thing as a settlement in criminal. You can't just say, Alvin Kamara can't just say, hey man, let me just give you some money and this goes away. This is the DA. This is a grand jury. And so the only thing they can do is do a plea. And in the plea, there could be an extraordinary amount of damages for medical, like $2 million in medical costs and some, maybe some psychological, whatever you can tie in medically to it. And that could make the other side offer a plea deal that is a very, lesser conspiracy charge that would allow Kamara to legally go to the NFL and say this conspiracy charge is looked at equivalent to this, and this is what you did in that case. This is what you did in that case. I no longer am guilty of battery with bodily harm. I'm only convicted of being guilty of conspiracy for battery. And maybe he's able to convince the NFL to give him 2 to 6 games off that. That's what Tony was talking about. And from a legal perspective, that's what Tony thinks is going to happen potentially. He doesn't know for sure. He's just guessing. We'll see, man. We'll see. That's the only type of like settlement you could kind of explain that could allow him to skate a little bit, is that if there's some conspiracy plea that pays this man an extraordinary amount of money, and the DA just wants a good win. That's the other thing too, is how likely is this to win in, in front of a jury or in court, in criminal court. You don't, just like Deshaun Watson's cases weren't ever indicted. He was never indicted on any of those 22 cases because the DA, even though they said they had a lot of evidence, the police had evidence of things, they didn't think he would actually be convicted, or they didn't have a very strong sense of it, so they didn't want to waste and tie up the legal system and waste all the money. So the fact that he got indicted, clearly there's a case, and this video makes it, absolutely clear. What are you going to do? You're going to say, oh, he said all these negative things about me. Unless there's an angle in the elevator where the guy struck Kamara, and even then he's going to have a tough time arguing this beating while the guy's unconscious. Or if you say, okay, he struck the guy in the face 3 or 4 times, and then the other guy with the hoodie's the one that did all the damage, and Alvin Kamara walked away. Yeah, that's all Alvin Kamara's argument. He hit the guy, and then he picked up whatever he dropped. Didn't try to stop his friends, but his friends kept just kicking the guy over and over and over. This shows how much the NFL doesn't care and still let him play knowing what he did. I know, and that's the other thing. Double A, what is the percentage chance, in your opinion, the NFL had the clear, full version of this immediately?
100%.
Okay.
Not any doubt. That's why from the very beginning, when we first started talking about this, and I had heard about the video, I literally every morning for a week got up and was like waiting for just anything on the news. Just maybe it's, even if it's ESPN just saying, hey, this might have happened, and maybe there's video, or maybe, but it went absolutely flat. And then I started asking around, and people were like, no, we haven't heard anything about it. And there was actually a guy who worked in surveillance in Vegas who moved up, and we were talking to him, and he hadn't heard anything about it. And I thought for a second he wasn't the biggest sports fan, so then I thought, there's no way you wouldn't have heard about this. Just no way. And then it just went nowhere, just absolutely nowhere until, 4 games after the Super Bowl? And then, poof, here we go. It's just,
yeah.
I cannot believe that Goodell doesn't make a call to the president of the company. I'll be there in the morning, or send me the video overnight, whatever. But there's just no way that.
Yeah, it is sick though that Goodell sat on this and the NFL sat on this, and just even when it was released in blurry, I was outraged by it, but apparently the rest of the world wasn't, because we were the only one that even live streamed on it. We were the only one that even reported on it. Even fantasy channels that love clickbait type topics and stuff, nobody talked about it. Nobody
Nothing.
cared.
And even when I would go into Google, or go into any search engine and look it up, I couldn't find it. Independent. And I thought that was just so weird that I couldn't. Yeah, I don't know. Unless
I care. I care
hey,
about
listen,
this. I don't know. This guy could be a POS himself. I have no idea. But I see somebody getting beat by 2-3 people, and he's not even throwing a punch like in the footage I can see. He's just helpless. He gets thrown to the floor. Kamara lays into him, pretty much lays him out. His arm's kind of coming up a little bit by the time the guy's in his 3rd or 4th kick and Kamara's done punching him. But it looks like he's like this, and then he's just kind of there. And then while the guy appears to be unconscious, he looks unconscious, or he's just incapable of moving. Even if he's like slightly conscious or whatever, we can't tell if he's 100% unconscious. And again, anybody who wants to watch this footage that we're talking about, I've linked it in the live chat. It's pinned, the pinned link in the live chat on my Instagram. But Alvin Kamara definitely puts this guy in sleep mode. Whether he's completely out or not, we don't know. But this guy that's kicking him and just smashing, just keeps stomping on his face over and over. This guy better see some consequences, because I don't care who you are. I don't care what you said to me. Unless you try to hurt a family member, and you could see somebody trying to put a risk in check so that he can't harm or hurt anybody. I can't imagine an explanation that anybody's going to buy and say, oh, he said those things to you, did he? It'd have to be, no, he did this and he was about to do this and he had this, weapon, or he's going to do that. if you don't have, if that story isn't coming out somehow that we don't know about, and then we can reassess all this, like I've always said, you have no explanation as to why you continue to. All of these guys decided to continue to put this man to sleep over and over and over.
Yeah, he'd have to have a machete in his hand.
Yeah.
To justify those actions.
Yeah. I mean, if he did have a machete, I would say, you know what? I'm all for it. You know, like protecting your family.
He couldn't defend himself though.
This was not this was not that though, and he's gonna have almost zero chance proving that this guy was in a state where Kamara was scared. So I don't know if you heard, the attorney came out and said that they're gonna prove and take this to court, and they're gonna fight it, saying that Alvin Kamara was defending himself, and like in fear. Like the guy defending himself. How are you defending yourself? How is an attorney even going to argue that? I wish Tony was here and he could call in.
Well, remember, this is the same situation that happened I think I told you my brother's an Oklahoma grad, and this is the same thing that happened with Nixon, where people were coming out and saying he was only defending himself after she called him a bad name. It's like those things don't go together. Like those, you just walk away from those situations. I mean, look at what we see, one of the Bosa brothers getting taunted the other day. That could have turned into a horrible situation. He mouths back, but he gets smart and he walks away, and his team, get going. It's just, I have no idea what goes through people's minds to think, you know what, let's curb stomp this guy out in the middle of the hallway, and no one will ever find out who we are. It just blows my mind. Yeah.
Link is pinned in live chat, everybody. If anybody wants to take a look at it and know what we're talking about. Man, let's see. That fight not going to get suspension all year. Let's see. What's Philly saying? That fight not going to get a suspension all year. If he had a weapon or used an object as a weapon, it would be a different story, but nevertheless, it's not good. I don't think you can say he's not getting a full year, bro. Would it surprise me either way? No, but I don't know that I'd be taking a hardline stance that he's not getting a year. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play again. You know what I mean? Maybe he comes back, but what team's gonna want to bring him back? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'll throw this out too. Can you imagine if there's in this day and age, this video, how quiet it was, and we find out that this is like a group of white guys, and this black guy's just getting the crap kicked out of them, and then we don't hear anything about it as the public. The outrage that would come out, this would be on the news, people would be in the streets. It's crazy.
Let's not go there.
I know.
Kamara never kicked him, says Niner Rick. Yeah, there was a report that Kamara did kick him, and I don't see a kick. From Kamara. I'm trying to see. There was a report Alvin Kamara kicked him. I don't see a single kick from Kamara to defend that stance. But it's tough. It's tough to say that he's escaping a full year. Please draft Kamara. It will help me, says Roger. Who's saying they're going to draft Kamara? Kamara hit him with a hard right and a few more right hands. It's correct. I don't know if you're defending him or not. What's Rick trying to say? Rick, what are you trying to say? Kamara never kicked him. That was the other guy. Defense attorneys look for loopholes in the law and ways to downgrade. True, but pleading down to the lesser charges is the only play here. You're not going to be able to defend this.
Question for you. Did Tony say that if Kamara came out and paid this guy, that there was anything inside of that payoff where the defendant or where the victim wouldn't be able to testify to receive that money?
I don't know about that. I haven't heard that.
Kind of one of those, I'll pay you off to not tell you about you see, we've heard this in, what am I thinking of? This non-disclosure agreements where we pay people off to stay silent. I mean, I don't know if that works in this case because we have video of it, but.
Yeah. Rick, I know you're saying he's wrong for sure, but I don't know what you're trying to defend, saying he didn't stomp him. We all know he didn't stomp him. That was an original report back in the day. But like, doesn't matter. Punching somebody or stomping them, it could easily be the same. You could essentially say Kamara's, I mean, the amount of kicks the guy delivered is definitely going to outweigh a bunch of punches. But you could easily say that any one individual kick from this guy was not as damaging as one single punch by Kamara. So Kamara punching him 10 times would have been worse than that guy kicking him 10 times. Kamara went in and just put him to sleep, bro. So I don't know.
Are you seeing that video in the chat where people are saying that Kamara's on there? You can see him laughing. Are you seeing that in that video?
No, I'm not seeing that, but I did see a report that said that he like bragged about, that he connected with the man real hardcore on his jaw, and that he definitely did. I mean, you could see it, but what if the victim?
Do we know the extent of the injuries of the victim?
Broken eye socket. I think shoulder surgery, cracked skull, I believe.
Oh, I wonder if that makes that. I think somebody in the chat mentioned that there was certain levels to the assault from A, B to C, depending on the amount of damage. I don't know the law down there, but
yeah, he's a POS, man. Kamara's a POS. Plain and simple.
Yeah, it's brutal.
All right, Double A, appreciate you calling back in. We should have more on this tomorrow, but we're gonna probably draft right now. But I appreciate everybody checking out the Instagram link. Go check it out if you haven't seen it already. My advice isn't to be defending this guy, guys. Don't be tying yourself to Alvin Kamara.
No, terrible idea.
Yeah, crazy. This is crazy. All right, we're gonna get into some live drafts. We'll see you in there, maybe.
See you, boss.
Thanks, appreciate you. All right, let's plug in and do some live drafts, shall we? Let's get into a draft. We're gonna do the big board, $10 per entry. The link I'm gonna drop in the live chat before I put this new link in the live chat and pin it. Make sure you click the link now to watch that Instagram footage. What's up, Ron? Ron, I'm gonna keep you on the phone until we start drafting, then I'm gonna jump so I can get this drafting going. But hit me with what you got while I set up.
I was just wondering if you're gonna draft Kamara in the 7th, 8th round again.
We'll see if he falls to 9. I'm not sure. You know what? In this draft, I won't. In this draft, he doesn't deserve it. We're not gonna give him the satisfaction.
He doesn't draft.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve to be drafted. But that's crazy. Did you watch the footage that I posted?
Yeah, I went in and I watched it, and it's like, but there's no and we're just talking about Kamara, but because he's the one that Cincinnati player that was involved, he was the one that was kicking. And, he's that cornerback from Cincinnati, Lemons.
Was that him kicking? Was that Lemon? Oh, he's in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I understand. It was Lemons that was kicking. He deserves it. I mean, they both. I mean, that's not just Kamara. It's everybody that was involved deserves jail time, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, look, or at the very least, they need to be kicked out of the NFL.
Yeah, like I said at the top of the show, Kamara getting released tomorrow wouldn't shock me at all. I would not. Like, the Saints might just. It depends on the coverage. Coverage was really bad last time. No one cared. But if the coverage is bad, like I said at the top of the show, I would not be shocked if Alvin Kamara was released tomorrow. Wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if he wasn't, but it wouldn't shock me if he was. That's for sure.
That's why I thought, especially if this went down now, that remember I said way back when we were asking where would Bijan go, and I said I think he goes to New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand. They just have to get into a spot to take him, but you never know. That would be a good spot in some sense, but then again, it's like they need a quarterback. We need to make sure. I hope he goes somewhere where there's some decent quarterback play. But would it shock me? No. I mean, no. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Bijan was anywhere because he's so good. Every team should be considering Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mighty Buffoon
crazy.
says the NFL is if this was a woman, then the NFL wouldn't allow Kamara to play in the league, and I think that's a good point. You know, obviously I think it's worse to, you know, if that was that situation. Of course, I would believe it would be way worse, but I think you make a good point that, like, should this be okay just because it was a dude getting smashed into the ground? No, it shouldn't be. It should be treated, you know, very similar in terms of, like, does it make you disgusted more if it's the other way around? Sure, but should the consequences of not playing in the NFL be the same? Probably. I mean, it's a good point.
Yeah, it shouldn't make a difference whether it's a man or a woman or whatever else it might be out there. It should make a difference. I mean, the act is the act, and no matter who's on the receiving end of that act, it's still the act.
Yeah. All right. Well, hold on. I'll hang tight. Maybe hang tight through the first 2 rounds, and then I'll have you jump off just so I can take a few random 20-second calls. But here, let's go in. We're gonna go into the big board right now. So everybody, there's a link pinned in the live chat. Don't click it yet, Ron. I'm gonna click on the big board right now and not jump in yet. And I'm just gonna show everybody. It's $1 million in prizes. First place is $200,000. Second place is $500 or $50,000. You get $1,000 if you place 26th through 100th. So if you're 99th place, you get $1,000.
Right.
Qualifying rounds are 1 through 14, and then you get thrown into a new bucket in week 15, then a new bucket week 16, and then the championship week where there's probably a 200 to 300, 400 people in week 17 fighting out for the final prize. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, and 12 bench spots. Go ahead and click the green button now. And since there's a 5-second delay, Ron, you do it too, and we'll jump in. There's a little bit of a delay, but we got 9 open spots. So 9 open spots. We should have plenty of you able to get in 8 spots.
Hope Adam's around so he can snipe me again.
Yeah. Blind Larry must
own
a lot of stock in Kamara. Wow, what's Blind Larry saying? Blind Larry, don't be defending Kamara.
Yeah, he's saying it's a misdemeanor.
What do you mean, Blind Larry? Blind Larry doesn't think that it's bad. Come on.
Because I don't think he can. I don't think he can see the footage as good as we all can.
Blind Larry, come on, call in, Blind Larry. Call in real quick.
It doesn't look as bad to him.
Blind Larry, call in real quick. Blind Larry's got a lot of Kamara shares. 5 more to fill. Blind Larry, we're waiting for you. 5 spots. Link is in the live chat if you want to draft with us. I'm waiting for Blind Larry to call. He likes to call, so I'm sure he's going to be dialing in a second.
Maybe.
Let me put the phone number on the screen for him because he might. There we go, Blind Larry. In case you didn't have the phone number, it's 602-635-3664. Let's see if Blind Larry's going to dial in. Defend Alvin Kamara. Misdemeanor. I hate to tell you, Blind Larry, you didn't go to law school clearly because it's not a misdemeanor. I mean, first of all, it's not. It doesn't matter what you think. It's not a misdemeanor.
Class B or Class C felony.
Man, you guys know growing up, you have it coming, don't know. But if someone slapped my hand, I'd hit him too. Okay, Blind Larry, you got to be able to. This footage is pretty bad, bro. It's not that. But it's not a misdemeanor. It's not like you could say I believe it shouldn't be a criminal act, or like if you said that, but you can't say it's a misdemeanor. It's not a misdemeanor, Blind Larry. That's inaccurate. It's not. It's a criminal. It's a big criminal situation, my guy. Okay, 2 more spots to fill. Link is pinned if you want to draft with us. This is the only draft we're doing tonight, so it's your own fault if you don't get into this draft. You've had plenty of time to get signed up. And I drop this link every week to the Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty link. Sanders walks Bijan to Philly. It sounds like I need to hire Blind Larry as my bouncer. I could just have Blind Larry watching my back, and Blind Larry would take care of it. It sounds like it. He's not calling in. I believe Golf says, I believe Kamara boy kicking the guy in the face is in a bad place. Kamara's boy kicking him in the face is in a bad place. Kamara looked to throw a few punches to the face. Not sure what that entails in a legal process. Well, considering he put him to sleep and then his buddy, I don't know if that was the Cincinnati Bengal player or not. Ron says he thinks it is, but I don't want to say for certain because I don't know. If that was him, he's in some massive trouble. He's in probably more trouble than Kamara, I would imagine. But at the same time, these guys did it together. You'd need a lawyer on your retainer if Blind Larry was your bouncer. That's true. Maybe I shouldn't hire Blind Larry as my bouncer because if he thinks that was a ticky tack thing, then I don't want him. Somebody could ask me for an autograph and Blind Larry just start wailing on him. Excuse me, Smitty.
Misdemeanor, Smitty.
Excuse me, Smitty. Taps me on the shoulder. What are you doing? Blind Larry, he just wanted to hang out. Blind Larry.
That's funny.
All right. Looks like 2 more to start. Click the link if you want to draft live with us. What's up? Why aren't you guys always beg for me to do these drafts? Who's not jumping in right now? I don't know if I'm going to go much past the 10th round because we've already been live for an hour talking about this. I'm going to have to do my quarterback video tomorrow at some point. Under Nevada law.
What are you going to do? Auto draft after 10 rounds?
No, I'll draft. I'm just not going to be live doing it. But I'll probably jump after about 10 rounds. Can the Jets make the playoffs with Carr? Can the Jets make the Jets could do more than make the playoffs with Carr. The Jets could be a top 6 team in the NFL with Carr, in my opinion. I think Carr's a lot better than people think. Carr's had a bottom 3 defense in almost every statistical category for the amount of time he's been in Las Vegas. There was a stat.
In the last 3 years, he's had 3 coaches.
Yeah, 3 coaches, a 29th, 30th, or 31st, or 32nd worst defense across the board in all categories. Going to New York, you'd have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th across all categories.
Hey, we got more full.
All right, Blind Larry's dialing in too. Blind Larry, you're live. Watch the bombs. Careful how you describe.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, the dude, what he did, the other dude, was worse than what Kamara did. Okay, if you said the guy slapped his hand on the dude, I mean, you don't know, these MMA fighters can be real quick with their hands. They could have done something different just by slapping his hand. You don't know. So he rendered that a no threat by hitting him, right? Okay, 4 punches. How fast can you punch somebody 4 times? Pretty quick.
I don't know.
Obviously,
you
you
ever
saw.
get punched by Mike Tyson?
I mean, if you're calling Alvin Kamara Mike Tyson, that's a totally different story because his hands are lethal, right? So at the end of the day, you're talking about a football player who was trying to render somebody that put his hands on somebody. But y'all never hit somebody 4 times in your life.
Okay,
quick.
but Blind Larry, it sounds like
right?
It sounds like Blind Larry. A, you got a lot of Kamara shares, but B, according to the reports, he put his hands on this guy first. Kamara slapped his hand. Like
to say, hey, don't get on my elevator. Okay, cool. Like he didn't push him, punch him, or anything
well, you don't
like
know.
that, right?
You don't know that. You don't know if he pushed
Well,
him
then
or
you don't know either. I mean, we
Well,
can go,
we-
but you believe whoever.
we
You know what I'm
do
saying?
we have a bunch. Blind Larry, we have video footage of this guy not throwing a single punch and Alvin Kamara taking him down and just
Understandable. I understand, but did you see when that guy put his hands on Alvin Kamara?
doesn't matter.
Nobody did.
It doesn't matter though.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it doesn't matter. I'm not saying what is right. All I'm saying is, if you'd hit somebody 4 times and get up out of the way, you render him not a threat. I can't help what the other dude did. Alvin Kamara put his hands on him. He didn't just keep beating the dude, right?
Bro, he put him to sleep, and you can't do that in today's world. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he slapped his hand away. If he put his hand on him, that doesn't constitute. And plus,
look, I lost my vision. I've lost my vision 13 years ago. I put my hands on a lot of people. I'm not trying to sound like a badass or anything like that. I've done 2 weeks over assault misdemeanor.
Watch the bombs, Blind Larry. You just dropped a bomb.
Well, I'm just saying, sorry. But all I'm saying is that this is like,
Blind Larry, you're defending a man though right now, and you're the only one defending him. Like I'm
not defending him, but y'all are making it sound like yeah.
Did he criminally attack the man? Yes, he did.
After the man put his hands on him, yes, right or no?
We don't even know. All we have is
okay. So then, why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep? I mean, you keep saying it too, just as long as everybody else, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, yes, what he did was wrong. He probably shouldn't have. Look, just don't get on my elevator. Simple as that, right?
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Blind Larry, we're not gonna agree on this one, but I still appreciate you. But I 1,000% disagree.
All I was saying is, if the dude punched a dude 4 times, that's an assault. He didn't beat him to oblivion, dude, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't help what the other dude did.
I watched the video, Blind Larry, and he
broke his face and all that.
Blind Larry, I watched the video, and he absolutely beat him into oblivion, and it only took him 4 or 5 punches to do so, but he did. And the guy was rendered senseless. Like, no offense, but I'm looking at the footage, Blind Larry. It's horrible.
We don't know.
I do know.
You can hit. You see bum fights, and they hit people 4 or 5 times too. They fall down and get back up. This guy didn't get back up because the other dude wanted to kick him 50 million times. He could have got back up.
Blind Larry,
we don't know.
Blind Larry, did you watch the footage?
I can't see that.
I know.
Like that.
So I
didn't go to Instagram. I don't know how Instagram.
So what I'm saying is the fact that you can't watch the footage, or someone described the footage exactly to you. How are we having this argument right now, though? That's the only thing I'm
listening to what y'all. I'm only saying this because of what everybody's saying, throughout the chat. I'm not saying anything's right. By all means, he's a public figure. He should not be doing that.
I can't believe I'm having this argument with you, Blind Larry, because the bottom line is I've seen the footage. We've all seen it. We're all looking at the footage.
Hold on. We've all. I don't care who it is. We've all grown up. Your dad's probably told you. Somebody put their hands. You put your hands on your back.
Never in my life, Blind Larry. I feel like I'm a pretty tough guy. Never in my life have I done this to somebody, or even dreamed of it, bro, or even thought about it, or even thought it would be potentially right. Never in my life.
I mean, if he laid him out in the first punch, cool. He shouldn't have not done. Hit him 3 more times, 4 more times.
Let me describe something to you, Blind Larry, because I don't, like I said, no offense, but you haven't seen it, so you can't really say one way or the other. While Alvin Kamara is laying 4 punches into him, bro, the guy's kicking him at the same time. Blind Larry, if you and I went after a guy at the same time, you're telling me he's not responsible for what the other guy's doing? They're doing it at the same time. They're crossing paths at the same time. They're both at the same time destroying this man in his face into the ground. You're having an argument that you can't describe or see. So it's like, I understand where you're trying to come from, but the guy, Kamara's punching him while the other guy is initiating 2 or 3 kicks. And like, you do that with another individual, you two go after one person and do that. It's totally different than what you're describing. You're describing a bar fight, like between one guy and another guy, and it's like, that's not what this is. That's not what this footage represents. It's
okay. Well, then, I mean, obviously the people, how they write it in the chat may have not been what you said, because never once did I see anybody say, "Oh, they're both going at it at the same time, simultaneously at the same time." You know what I'm saying? Like, that never came up in the chat. So I obviously can't go off of what you're saying because I never heard you say that one time since you started your show.
Well, I mean, I've tried to explain it 100 different ways that it's an absolute lambasting, and the guy had zero chance.
I believe if one person, like, so did basically is what happened is did the dude push the dude to the ground?
So the way that it happens,
and he fell to the ground,
because you haven't seen it. Let me describe it for you. Essentially, there's like a crowd of people, a big crowd of people that start like congesting the hallway. And apparently, from the reports, and there's video footage inside the elevator, so we're trusting the reports. Could you be right that there's more to it? I already said that. If, let's say that it ends up this guy has a weapon or something and we find different footage, we got to reassess it all.
No, I
but
heard
from
that.
the reports, the guy was probably belligerent at Kamara, probably not a Saints fan at all, and probably pissed off Kamara. Put his hands on Kamara, or Kamara put his hands on the guy, said, like, next elevator. Putting his hands on, and the way you're describing yourself, if someone put their hands on you to get out of an elevator, you would have taken that as an assault by the way you're describing this.
No.
Come on.
I try to get on elevators all the time. People are like, man, there's not enough room, and they'll put
come on, Blind Larry, come on.
No.
That's not even the same. That's not even the same.
Said slap.
No.
You said slap the hands. You
Look,
said slap the
Blind
hand.
Larry,
He slapped the hand.
This is ridiculous.
Alvin Kamara's hand.
Blind Larry, they put their hands on him like, get out of the elevator. It wasn't like this elevator is full, sonny boy. It's not that way.
Well, I mean,
he put his hands on him physically.
I don't know that. I haven't seen that, and you haven't seen that either. You see the reports or whatever, but how do you
Blind Larry, how many shares of Alvin Kamara do you have?
Man, I don't have none. I'm just saying what he did was wrong, but if you don't know the full story from the elevator to
I do know what's being reported, and I'm reacting to the reports, and I've also been very careful to say if it comes out that there's some footage of this guy having a weapon or something, which we've never heard, Blind Larry. We have people that have watched.
I don't think he had a weapon, man. I mean, let's just be real. You got to walk through, metal detectors get to them type of places, right? I mean, come on. The weapon, I don't think is
This is a ridiculous conversation. I'm just going to tell you.
It is kind of ridiculous because if we don't know what happened from the elevator, how forcefully Alvin Kamara put his hand and said, no, buddy, you can't get on this elevator, and then the other dude slapped him. I think if he would have pushed him forcefully, the other dude wouldn't have been able to slap him. The door's been closed, and that's that, right?
No. I appreciate
I would like to see that first.
I appreciate you, but as the chat's saying, you're reaching on this one.
I'm not reaching. I mean, if Alvin Kamara hit the dude, that's an assault. Now, if he hit the dude at the same time, the other dude, and they said, "Hey, let's get him," we don't know what he said like that, so we can't,
Bro, the footage is clear as day. I'm telling you that. Trust me, I'm watching it. The footage is. This is a ridiculous argument to be having right now. I'm watching the footage and you're not. I'm watching the footage.
What I think he did was wrong. Yes, 100%. Just by what y'all guys are saying. Like I said.
Of course he is. He's a criminal. He's got indicted for it. Of course it's wrong. He's being indicted for it. Like, this is not some kind of like accusation at this point, Blind Larry. He's going into court to try and stay out of jail, to try and stay out of prison. That's what he's doing. This is not some bar fight that went bad. This is, from all accounts, a situation where the guy was probably belligerent, probably said a bunch of nasty things to Kamara. I'm sure it's the worst things you can. I'm sure it's the worst things you can think of. And they put their hands on this guy to get him out of an elevator that he was trying to enter. And according to reports, and maybe this part's wrong, and if it is, it doesn't even matter. The guy reported, maybe he didn't even slap Alvin Kamara's hand. Maybe that report's wrong. But the guy apparently said, "Get your hands off me. I'll get in the elevator if I want." And boom, 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 boom. They take him into the hallway, throw him down.
That makes it sound a little bit different than what
Well, that's why you got to call me and ask me, and that's why you got to call me and ask me instead of start defending Kamara.
No, but I mean, if everybody else is going to go off on me, I'm going to call you. I don't care. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about what everybody's saying.
I'm here for you,
and that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
I'm here for you. I got a psych degree. Okay, I can listen to you. Okay. I can be your place to you can blow off some steam with me, bro. Kick your feet up on the couch.
I don't have to do all that. I'm just trying to let you know, if the dude punched the dude, laid him out, he should have just walked away. But if they kept going and kept going, and one stopped and the other one kept going, I mean, that's totally different.
Well, I tried to explain.
If you're
that.
on the ground, I'm not gonna mess with you when you're on the ground. If you're already on the ground, what are you gonna do to me on the ground? You know what I'm saying? So what he did was wrong. Yes, I'm saying that 100%. Yes, what he did was wrong. But if we don't see what the reports, as you say, how do we know what happened right then?
Because he's being indicted for it, my guy. I think we can make some safe.
It's innocent until proven guilty. Am I right or am I wrong? Did he assault the dude? Yes, but up until that point, what do you have?
In the NFL, he's not innocent until proven guilty. In the NFL, they can do whatever they want. Blind Larry, if you are, let's say you work for, let's say you work for Cisco or you work for Pepsi Cola. Okay, whatever.
It's like Deshaun Watson, though.
You can't.
I live in Houston,
you can't
bro.
go.
I listen, watch the news every day while this stuff went on, bro. And so, like, they can do what they want. You're 100% correct. But did he get in trouble? No. Did he settle? Yeah. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? It's
okay. Ron Navy, you
can't compare. You cannot compare. Deshaun Watson and Alvin Kamara. That's way two different things.
What were the charges on Watson? Let me hear you. I just want to hear what you say.
The charges on Watson? Well, he was being the complaints against him were disgusting. And he admitted to a lot of what happened, but just said that it was disgusting but consensual. Okay, so the debate for Watson came down to, was it consensual of what he did, all the nasty things that he did, or was it not consensual? And so that's what they had to argue in court. So they're two completely different things, like Ron said, because they're different crimes, they're totally different situations.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm basing it on the street. Like if one person, a normal person, would have done any of that, yeah, they're sitting in jail. Did Watson sit in jail? No. So if one person assaults somebody like that, they're going to sit in jail. And I hope he sits in jail if what you're saying is what he did. But at the end of the day, when he stopped and other dude kept going, it's like, how can you prove who cracked the dude's skull, who did this, who did that?
That's why typically you see guys go, they suffer the same charges. Like together, they're going to suffer the same. There is a place where they could say this guy did worse damage than this guy. But like you said, how can they prove that? I don't know. Kamara's punches, his 4 punches could have did more damage than the guy's 11 kicks, because Kamara is a strong individual.
Or he could hit like a little girl. You don't know.
I do know, Blind Larry, because I'm watching the footage. I'm watching the footage.
That's what I'm saying. But like, they're not going to be able to prove.
The guy has a busted eye socket. He has multiple.
What side? On
Blind Larry, you are reaching like crazy to defend Kamara. You're defending Kamara.
I'm not. I'm just reaching to say this is an assault, bro.
You are. You're defending Kamara. Everybody's saying it, bro. It's okay if you want to, but like
4 times he hit him hard before the guy even started kicking him, and he was motionless after Kamara hit him 4 straight times. He was motionless.
Okay.
He wasn't moving at all. And then the guy started kicking him in the head afterwards.
I got you.
And the thing about Deshaun Watson is I
was just trying to compare that to a person on the street type. I'm not worried about that. I live here. I know.
The Attorney General decided not to try to get not to press it because he or she, I forget who it was, didn't want to go up against the defense lawyers. So they just dropped it. And
I hear you.
It's totally different.
I'm just for everybody can hear. I'm saying what he did was wrong, 100%.
We know,
because after you hit him one time, you probably shouldn't have to hit him again if you're a big tough dude like he is. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm just trying to say,
what are we doing?
We don't know exactly what happened from the elevator door to wherever he started getting punched. That's all I wanted to say. And from what I think. But obviously, I'm not a lawyer, just like everybody else isn't a lawyer, except for your lawyers you got that call in. How can let's just let it play out. But I'm just saying, from what I was hearing in the chat, it looked like an assault because the Kamara stopped and the other dude kept going. I didn't know they were doing it at the same time.
Video out there that hasn't come out yet, though, Larry. There's more, because if you go into any of those elevators, they all have cameras in them. They all have cameras on the outside looking at the elevator, and they all have cameras inside the elevator. So there's footage that hasn't been released yet that we haven't seen, but the prosecution has seen, and the grand jury has seen all of that right now. So they wouldn't indict him if they didn't think they had a strong case against him. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't think they had a strong case against him, they wouldn't have indicted him.
Also, Blind Larry, one thing to keep in mind is I mean, they did. There's overlap. Kamara came in, just completely laid the guy out, and about hit 3 or 4, the other guy had already gotten 2 kicks in, probably, if I had to guess. I'm guesstimating based on my memory of watching it 10,000 times in a row just a second ago. But there was overlap. It was clearly a group beating, bro. It was a mauling. This guy got mauled. He was clearly unconscious, or to the point where he was unable to even move. He tried to block some punches with his hand a little bit, and the guy just kept kicking and kicking and kicking. And while you can say, that guy he can't be held responsible for what he did. Yeah, you can. Like when you go perform a crime. What?
Is Throw 21 of ours? Because if he is, he's destroying the ADPs on these guys.
Yeah, Ro.
I mean, he took Charbonnet in the 6th.
Yeah, you got to be careful, Travis.
8th, 9th, and he also took Gibbs way early too.
Yeah, you got to be a little careful on that, Travis.
He took him 39 in the 3rd round.
I mean, you can do what you want, obviously, Travis, but be careful because, like,
I mean, you can, but why destroy the person's ADP?
Yeah, Gibbs is going in round 5 easy.
What are you trying to prove? That you can get him before everybody else? Good job, awesome, but you're ruining the guy's ADP.
Don't make Ron mad.
You are.
I know, Ron.
No, I'm serious.
I know you're serious.
At least
I got both you and Blind Larry just wound up so tight tonight. I'm
not wound up. I'm just saying, hey, take these guys. If you take them 10 picks, if they're not going to come back to you, yeah, take them. Like you said, like I said. But to take them 20 picks early, no.
All right, Blind Larry, anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? Any other criminals you'd like to defend? You're a defense attorney. I think what you need to be, Blind Larry. I think you need to get in school, become a defense attorney.
Yeah, Blind Larry.
Did he leave?
He would have got. He would have got OJ off.
Blind Larry, I appreciate you.
Blind Larry's cool. I love Blind Larry.
I'm not mad at Blind Larry at all. I hope he's listening still. I'm not mad at him all, but at all. But like, it's just kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic that he's the one arguing against us about it when, like, God bless him, but like he can't really defend something that you can't, exactly see exactly what's going on with it. And Kamara, like, I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, Travis, you're scooping up everybody like a round and a half ahead of their ADP, bro.
Way too early.
Definitely don't do that outside of our community for your own sake, though. Like, don't go into these drafts and start drafting Gibbs in round 4 because you can get him at 5, and you're gonna lose some value on the table there. Let's see. I don't know what I'm going to do here. So my team's, this is different, partly because Travis was scooping everybody up. This team's different than really ever before. I got Fields, Bijan, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, and Kyle Pitts. I like it. It's a pretty good team.
I'm loading up on the receivers.
Blind Larry, you still here, pal? We still love you, man. Everybody still respects you for calling in. You always call. Look at Kamara still sitting there. he's got to sit there a while now. Man, I'll always call in, broski. Okay, appreciate you, Blind Larry. He does like to call in to argue the counterpoint, no matter what it is. Literally, we could be like, okay, the world's round. You could count on Blind Larry calling in and saying, "How do you know it's round? Have you walked the entire Earth, Smitty? Do you know that it's not flat?"
Have you walked the entire earth? Oh my God!
I mean, he's gonna make a couple good points. I'll give him that. And like, no, I actually haven't, Blind Larry, but I do kind of feel like.
I mean, I agree to the fact that we gotta really kind of wait because I think there's more information that's going to come out. Like I said, I think there's footage out there that we haven't been privileged to seeing yet from the elevator angles, and there's going to be more stuff that comes out that we find out about it. So
All right, here's Travis. This is the guy that sniped you, Ron. Address it. Travis, you're live.
Hey, Travis. Yeah, I'm just calling in to say I don't know if you saw me in the chat, but past 2 drafts, I was asking everybody in the chat to stick by the ADPs, and people were going 40, 50 picks ahead. So I said it before this draft. I'm just going to get my team, and then I'll go back to the ADPs. No problem.
So you're sniping on purpose.
Well, I don't look in his defense.
I lost $10 down the drain last time. So.
In his defense, drafting with us, there's so many people drafting. I highly doubt we really change ADP on here. I really don't think we.
Yeah, well.
But I'll say this. It does make it hard to draft. Like, it's fine, Travis. You know, don't not draft with us or don't take offense to it. But I would, you already said fine. You were going to go back to normal. I just want to make sure the point's made that everybody shouldn't be doing that when you're drafting outside of our community, because you can totally clean up. Everybody should be using this ADP. Now, I drafted, I don't know if it was Charbonnet or Gibbs a little early last time. Ron, you had mentioned that you took him early. I'm only going to take him when he's like 5 or 6 running backs down or so. And if I'm reaching a little bit in that context, I'm fine because I know he's not going to be close to coming back. But if it's like 10 RBs down, you know, I don't. But Travis, we understand. I mean, you're just trying to build the best team possible. And to be honest with you, despite, you know, potentially destroying ADP, your team's straight fire, you know. And so did you do wrong by reaching? Yeah. Not really. I mean, you got Kenneth Walker, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Watson, and Jigba, Burks, and Hurts. It's a good team, but I think our point is just
everybody watching this though. I've done a lot of these drafts already, and you can get these guys. You can get these guys like Gibbs. You can get in the 5th, 6th round. Yeah. And Charbonnet you can get in the 8th, 9th, or 10th round. Probably more of the 8th or 9th round. You can get them there, and if you're not drafting in our community, you can get
right, and he knows he knows that. Yeah,
in regular drafts,
and he knows that.
And the only thing I'll say too is it was earlier, obviously, but like Charbonnet, ADP 99, which is ADP. My next pick wasn't until 84, so that's, you know, by that point he was going to be. I might not have got him. I did that last time, tried to wait around. Got none of the guys I wanted. So I understand. I'm not going to mess with ADP. So,
you know, I try not to ruin their. I try not to go over their ADP, and if I miss out on them, I miss out on them. But that's what I've done up until
this one. So
hey, I understand it. I get what you're doing. Hey, do you guys like? I know you can't help me too much because you're drafting, but do you guys like Connor or AJ Dillon more? Such a tough call. I feel like they're going to lean on.
I know you don't like Connor. I think you like Dillon better because Connor frustrates you.
I like Dillon too. Yeah. I don't know where Connor's going to be. Is he still there?
Yeah, he's in Arizona.
Yeah, he's still there.
He's
in Arizona. I waver on that one. That one's always tough for me. My team so far.
Dillon's already off.
I took him.
Tough too because didn't Aaron Jones just re-upped with Green Bay, right?
Yeah, that's the concern is he. Yeah, he restructured his contract so he could stay. Yeah, Smitty, thoughts on passing on Kelsey in the 1st round? I contemplated taking Kelsey, so I'm drafting from this. I'm drafting from the 7 pick, and so I had a chance to take Kelsey at 7 instead of Bijan at 7. But you know, Bijan's not a reach at 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, he's getting drafted there. People are drafting him there. Like you almost have to take Bijan in the 1st round if you want him now. He's just not falling.
Yeah, people got mad at me because I took him in the 1st round last draft.
Yeah, no,
he was going like
He's
I
going
think
early.
I took him from 8th, and he was going like 12th or something.
Yeah, he's going early. I don't think that's a reach. I reached on Garrett Wilson a little bit at 18. I felt very, very early. Part of me wanted to go Josh Allen, Mahomes, or Burrow or something at 18. But then I would have got Christian Watson, which I would have liked. So I don't know what would have been better for me. Bijan, Burrow, and Christian Watson, or Bijan, Mahomes, and Christian Watson, or Bijan, Garrett Wilson, and Justin Fields. But I don't have any Fields shares, so I went ahead and took a gamble on Fields on this one.
Yeah, I took him in the last one. I think Fields is going to be good. I hope they don't trade him. I hope they just stick with him and give him some weapons.
Ron's got Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, DK Metcalf from the 2 pick, Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, Jordan Addison, Tyler Algier, Brian Robinson, and Kirk Cousins. Who the Vikings, or there was a report that the Vikings would be very, very smart to and are very likely to re-sign Kirk Cousins and extend him, which is good for JJ in a sense because we know what they can do together. So that was pretty good news to hear, actually, because what would they do if they didn't have Kirk Cousins? As much as we say, oh, Kirk Cousins is a little overrated, Ron, he's not going to continue to do this every single year because Ron Navy says Kirk Cousins will be a monster for his entire lifetime. It's really good.
I can't see the chat, but I know Addo's probably waiting for me to get on him because he took Joe Burrow, knowing that I had Chase.
Yeah, I love though, Ron, that you have a small expectation that people aren't going to snipe you because you have the other piece. I do love that about you. You have just this thinking that maybe someone's
Oh no,
gonna...
I knew it was going to happen, especially in here. I knew it was going to happen. So I knew as soon as I took Chase.
So Tucker, I took a little bit. Tucker, I took a little bit early, but I've been so sniped on RBs. We're kind of in like snipe mode here, and the problem, he was like the 6th or 7th running back ranked. That's not a very big reach, but I think because we have so much sniping already done, it makes things look even worse at this point. But he was like the 6th or 7th running back ranked, so and I need an RB.
It's still, what is it, the 9th round? I mean, once you get into like the 12th, 13th round, does it really matter at that point?
No.
I know there's certain guys still going for values, but.
Well, I mean, I do like your team though, Travis. I mean, it's good. Don't feel bad for sniping. And taking guys too early. It is what it is. The good thing about Underdog is we're not going to influence the ADP too much because there's thousands and thousands of drafts. But I just want to make sure that you guys, more so than anything, are just taken care of. So like and Travis has already admitted he would go back to normal. But please, guys, don't draft Charbonnet until the 7th to 8th round. Don't draft Gibbs until round 5. And Bijan, you got to take where you can take, but that will allow you to get so much more value. You gotta wait.
Yeah, definitely.
And even my Tucker pick, you wait another round or two in a normal setting. I took him in the 9th. He's a double-digit round pick. Sean Tucker right now is no higher than a double-digit round pick. Nice quarterbacks considering RDJ. He got Lance, Tua, and Dak, and you waited till late to get him. Trey Lance got potentially good news. Not good news, but good news for his value. Brock Purdy, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Looks like there was more swelling in his elbow than they anticipated, so they're delaying his surgery until March. But that's not good news.
Yeah, it's not that far away though. March is almost here, so.
Yeah, but it's not good news because he's now going to be a full month. Like you talk about March 15, let's say he gets surgery on the day the NFL league starts, March 15. That's April, May, June, July, August, September 15th. That's 6 months. There's no way he's ready faster than 6 months.
Well, that's what I was going to say, yeah.
So Trey Lance starts.
Still play it off like, he'll be ready.
So Trey Lance starts week 1. Trey Lance is starting week 1, unless he gets hurt. Trey Lance is starting week 1.
Did you grab Trey Lance?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking at him. I know I saw he went though.
I'm going to take Derek Carr. First ballot Hall of Famer, according to New York. Did you hear that report? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But according to the New York
Oh, I
Jets,
thought you were kidding about that.
no, according to
Then
the
I
New
saw
York,
you had-
no, the New York Jets said this, not me. The New York Jets said to Derek Carr, "We think you could be a first ballot Hall of Famer if you come to New York." To me, and we can laugh at that. We can laugh at that all we want. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it goes to show how much they love him, and that if he wanted to sign right now, they'd probably say, "Forget Aaron Rodgers. We want you, Derek Carr." So that ensures to me that they're in the Derek Carr business if Derek Carr wants it, and Derek Carr may gamble a little bit, but then come back around. Like Derek Carr would be stupid to push this into deep into March because he has the world by the balls. He gets to go wherever he wants. He can sign tomorrow. He can get started tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like that's amazing. And I think Derek Carr is going to want to close this book sooner than later at some point. Like he's enjoying this. He's enjoying having control. But I mean, New York is the place to be. He's never had a defense before. This is arguably the first, second, or third best defense across the board in all categories. The New York Football Jets. You give them an offense, they might be number one. We might not even know that the New York Jets football. This New York Jets football team's defense is the best defense in the league. The reason it's not ranking first is because they're always on the field tired and giving up more yardage and touchdowns than they probably should because they're tired. You put Derek Carr in this offense, Derek Carr helps the defense helps Derek Carr. Derek Carr's only played in Las Vegas with the bottom 29, 30, 31, and 32, 32nd ranked defense across the board in all categories. Like 28th in points, like 28th or 29th in interceptions. Just the worst defense you could find, other than maybe one or two others in the NFL. He's never played with a good defense, so I'm excited for Derek Carr. We'll have more on this tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he's like you said. I think he should get it done as soon as he can because before he knows it, there's going to be Rodgers and whoever else could be knocking on their door, going I'll come to New York too. And you never know when they're going to change their mind. And plus, like you said, a complete team like that, they'd walk into the playoffs. I think. I mean, people talk crap about Carr, but I mean, he's a good quarterback. I don't know if he's great, but he's good.
How are you liking your team so far, Ron?
Okay, it's different.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking my teams. It's a little different than normal. I'm going heavy quarterback.
It gets me off of. Remember, I was talking about you get into these trends.
Yeah.
And you like drafting the same players over and over again. It definitely gets me off of that. So it's okay because you want some different teams. It's easy to get stuck getting the same players over and over.
You know what I kind of want to build? I want to build a team with Lamar, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London. Not that it'd even be hard to build, but I want to have one team with Lamar, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London. It kind of feels like if you built a solid team around that. So where's Lamar's ADP? Let's see where Lamar goes. Let's look at the board here.
Same around Fields. They're together usually back to back.
Yeah. Okay. So Lamar went.
That's Lamar.
Where'd Lamar went? Where'd Lamar go? Why can't I find him? Okay, there he is. So Lamar went in the third round. Drake London went where? In the fifth round. And Kyle Pitts went. I think I took Kyle Pitts in round 4, which is a little early, but Snipe City was going on here. So you have round 3, 4, and 5. You could get Lamar in 3, 4, and 5, or like maybe even 3, 5, and 6, or whatever. And then you put 2 players with that in the first and second round. I think it'd be a really good team.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try that tonight. I'm gonna post it on my IG. I'm gonna take Lamar, London, and Kyle Pitts on one team and see what other first and second round players I could toss onto that and see if I feel like it's a winning team. That feels like a really good team.
That's actually
look at
way to build a couple teams like that.
What'd you say?
Nobody's touching Elliott.
You guys are talking at the same time. Travis, what'd you say?
No, I was just saying that'd be kind of an interesting thing to do, like with a couple teams, like Lamar and if Miami got a quarterback too, with them and a couple of their wide receivers. that might be a good way to go. Actually,
The key is doing it to where you still have a whole lot of draft capital to put on top of it, though. Like when I tried it before with I did it as an experiment with the KC Chiefs. I drafted all the Kansas City Chiefs. I even dropped and cut any other player that wasn't on the Chiefs roster, and I did a video on it saying, "Let's see if I can win with only the Kansas City Chiefs team," and it didn't. It didn't win. Let's see. I need an RB. I really like Hodgins. He's ranked so high right here. I guess the 12th round isn't that crazy.
yeah, he was. I was looking at him. He did so good down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? Was he with Cincinnati to start the year? I think it was something like that.
Hodgins,
It wasn't with
Giants.
the Giants to start the year.
You what?
Yeah, I think he was with Cincinnati to start the year, though. I'm not positive
Hodgins?
right now, but yeah, I don't think they drafted him.
Let's see.
No, he was on somebody else's team at the beginning of training camp and was released.
Yeah, I don't think it was
Oh, Bills, the Bills.
the Bills. He played. He played 2 games for the Bills. You're right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
2 games for the Bills. That's interesting. I didn't even know that. Two games with the Bills and then played with the Giants for 8 games. So he didn't even play a full season. So it's important to note that.
Okay.
And very, very good point. When I talk about Hodgins, I'm going to bring that up. So thank you for keying me to that. But I didn't know that. If you take that away, though, we're talking about 4 catches. So if you take that away, he only played 8 games with the Giants. So when you look at his stat line and you see 351 and 4 TDs, that's on 8 games. That's on 8 games where, he didn't even really play much until week 13. So Hodgins really did most of his damage in week 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So you're talking about, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You're talking about 7 games he had his 400 yards and 4 TDs. So Hodgins is a very, unique wide receiver that you can't really go off the stats. You got to go off the feel, and he felt really good.
Yeah. As long as Jones stays too, it's like that's kind of his guy. It's just like he's really locked into him.
Yeah, and he probably will stay.
I think so. I mean, did they tag him?
They haven't tagged. No one's been tagged yet. The tag window opened. Tag window opened today, but he has not been tagged. No.
Okay.
They can tag until March 7th.
Do you think Kansas City is going to go after another wide receiver this offseason?
Absolutely. They may draft a big name. They may draft a big name or bring in a big name. I really believe that. I think they're going to try and be ahead of the curve here and say, you know what, we can improve. We can bring somebody in. Juju Smith-Schuster's a free agent, so they got to replace him anyway.
Yeah, because they kind of won in spite of that group. Everyone kind of chipped in at different times, but they kind of got lucky there that it didn't blow up on them.
Hold on one second, Travis. Hob G, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Hob G, I swear, if you call in defending Alvin Kamara, I'm hanging up.
Come on, yo, stop. I'm coming.
I'm
talking Giants. What's up, community?
What's up? I'm hanging up on all 3 of you. Just like Alvin Kamara is getting blamed for what his buddy did. You're all getting blamed if Hob G comes in and starts defending Kamara.
Nah. Hodges, I like you. He was with the Bills and they cut him and then
You're a little muffled. You're a little muffled, bro. We can barely hear you.
Oh.
Are you on Roger? Are you on Roger's phone?
Yeah, I'm calling from my printer.
Your printer. I think Roger does calls from his printer. I love it.
Is it better?
Little better, I think.
Oh man, I don't know what's
Calling from the fax machine on speaker.
How do I get back in if I closed out?
So if you go out, look at watch me. Okay, I'm out. I'm gonna click active, and then the draft's right there.
Active. All right. Thank you.
Hob G, go ahead. What were you saying, bro?
Is it better?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. All right. Yo, yeah, Hodgins. Yeah,
Hodgins.
at the trade deadline, Giants fans, they were clamoring for them to go get like DJ Moore or somebody like that, and they didn't make a move. So after the trade deadline passed, they picked up Hodgins, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. He came from the Bills, so he just slid right into Daboll's system.
He's good, man. You know who he reminds me of? Michael Pittman, but in a way that we all thought positively about Michael Pittman. Not the Pittman right now, but like going into the season, like Michael Pittman had all this allure.
Yeah.
I think people overdrafted him. I warned people to back up off that because people were drafting him way too high. But I think he's got that kind of potential that people thought Pittman had. He's really good. I mean, it's going to be real easy for people to judge him off of a small amount of games, and they shouldn't because he barely played like 5 or 6 solid games. And he had 400 yards and let's see here. I got
he's better than that.
Let's see my team so far. I need an RB. I need a wide receiver. What am I going to do here? I've been stockpiling on these RBs. I don't like this guy all that much, but you know, teams might, and so I'm gonna take my chances on the rookies. I'm gonna go Zach Evans. I don't really particularly love him, but if he gets a nice landing spot, you never know. He was highly projected by a lot of people, and then he kind of fell off a little. But combines can change a lot. Hob G, what else you got?
Somebody like Danny Dimes would look good in a Texans uniform.
You think? I don't think Danny Dimes. I don't think Danny Dimes looks as good anywhere unless he's with Dable.
Yeah, because like last year watching him, I was like, Dable came up with this system, and the thing was, he could do what I've seen Daniel Jones do as far as like they didn't have great receivers, so the way Dayball had him running the system, he's running the RPO, so he's reading the defense. So when it's hyped in a split second, he has to determine: is he going to keep it? Is he going to give it to Saquon? Is he going to pass it? Now he's diagnosing everything before the play, before the hype. So when it's hyped in a split second, he has to make that decision. You know, aren't too many old QBs that can do that.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
you know, they got something with him.
Important to understand that. First of all, let me just say that I said that Josh Allen would be a top 5 quarterback when he entered his rookie year before he'd taken a snap. I had a video, or I had a article out on that. This is before I think this is before I even started my YouTube channel. Right before. So I had an article that he would be a top 5 quarterback. I could still show it. I have evidence of that. Bold prediction. But I think you could honestly say that the way people viewed him, you know how people viewed Jalen Hurts, just completely dogged him, doubted him.
Yeah.
People were way harder on Josh Allen than they were Jalen Hurts. And I think that Danny Dimes feels like, and I don't think he's the next Josh Allen. I don't, but Dable's the one that made Josh Allen, you could say, or helped tweak him and get him to the point where he's now an absolute monster, a top 4 quarterback. You could say that Danny Dimes is thought of no higher than what Josh Allen was thought of when Josh Allen was at his low, coming out of his rookie year, and people like, he can only run, it's all he'll ever do. I think Danny Dimes is further ahead than Josh Allen was in terms of like where he was at that point. So I don't know. It's tough to know like what his limitations will be. I certainly don't think he's Josh Allen, but I can't put anything past Dable. He's amazing.
Well, Dable is using him like Josh Allen. He's not Josh Allen, but he put him in that role and he's succeeding in it.
He was definitely running like Josh Allen in that
Later golf.
Vikings game. Sure.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you drop off one at a time. Travis, you got anything final that you want to add before I give you the boot?
Yes, everyone stick to the ADP next time, and I will.
Yeah.
No fun. Sorry, guys. But
Don't worry about it, bro. You even if we draft again, do what you want. It's your money. You know what I mean? Like, don't even listen to me if I'm telling you not to do it. But for your own sake, when you're not in a draft with us, again, and you understand this, just for your own sake, you're gonna clean up if you don't. But like, you don't ever have to apologize when you're putting money into something. You're like, I want to draft my guys, you know. So don't worry about it. All right, appreciate you, Travis.
I don't like getting Ron mad and having to hang up to swear off the phone.
Yeah, you're lucky Ron didn't have to leave the call and come back.
Sorry, Ron.
No, it was okay. I mean, I was out of position to draft those players anyways, but
you should go back.
It was like,
You should go back and hear it though, Ron. You're like, who's this guy? Rowe. Is he?
I knew the second. I was waiting for him to go off when I was picking these guys. I was like, how many more do I have to do before Ron starts?
Right. Ron, I think your exact words, Ron. You should go watch it again. It was like, is this one of ours?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yep.
yeah, is this throw guy one of ours? I already knew Ada was looking for a reaction from him when he took Joe Burrow, but he didn't get one. I expected that.
Ada wants us to review his 4-spot team, which is reactors. Oh, Ada's the one that took your guy last time, right? Okay, so he's got Burrow, Daniel Jones, Stroud, Najee. So he did take he sniped you again, Ron. He took Burrow.
I told you that. I already knew that.
Okay. Burrow, Danny Dimes, Stroud, Najee Harris, Jamal Williams, Foreman, Penny. I think I'm on the clock. Hold on. I need a wide receiver. Let's see here. Oh boy, you guys grabbed all the tight ends. Oh no, I need to scroll up. Okay. Let's go. Oh, Ron's going to get so mad. You know, it sucks, Ron, that we can't draft the way we want without you just getting completely upset. Here we go. Here we go.
No, I already knew you. I knew you were going to take Likely. I didn't even have him marked because I knew you were going to take him.
I almost took him. I took Woods.
It's very likely I was taking Likely. And I knew that Ron was about... Okay, I'm glad he's not. Okay. Appreciate you, Travis. We'll see you later, pal. Call in tomorrow.
Thanks,
Hobbsy, you got anything else you want to add before you get booted?
Well, yeah, once, I had a question, but then I got sidetracked talking about Giants. I just love talking Giants. But, your strategy, I love your strategy for, like, what's that, Burrow, getting Burrow, Bijan, Jamar.
The Marsmen?
Now, if you don't...
You talking about the Marsmen?
Yeah, but like your draft, you had like the first 4 picks are going to be Jamar, Bijan, Burrow. Would be your first 3 picks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, the tripod.
Yeah, I got you. In round 1, take Jamar Chase. Round 2, get Bijan if you could get lucky, and then Burrow round 3. You're gonna probably have to trade your round 2 up into round 1 to get Bijan and Burrow and Chase now. But like real quickly, hold on, hang tight.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
These guys constitute a lot of the Mars men: Burrow, Bijan, and Jamar Chase. The first 3.
And spinning aimlessly in space.
So the first 3 guys that we added to the Mars men were that exact reasoning.
Y'all ain't getting Tyler Scott today, buddy.
Yeah, Ron's going as high as round 17 now. He's not messing around. I like it.
I know you're all thinking about it.
Adam,
that strategy right there for those 3 dudes, I was thinking I wanted to try that in my league. That's going to be one of my strategies in the league.
Definitely, bro.
So now your whole thing is for best ball, you want to stack that Jamar and Burrow. Now, would you deviate for that in the league? If you don't get Jamar, you still take Burrow.
Check your ID. Okay, Blind Larry, thank you. I mean, yeah, of course I mean, you're gonna have to deviate if someone takes one of them, but like Hurts in place of Burrow, fine. Mahomes in place of Burrow, fine. That doesn't really matter. Like at the end of the day, I still love it. JJ instead of Jamar. Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall instead of Bijan. I mean, you could essentially argue all those points,
Yeah, like say if I don't get Jamar in the first, I think I'll still take Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about best ball, these $10 drafts is if you don't get what you want, run it back, and you probably will get it. You try a couple times, you'll get it.
And then you can also, just because you don't get Chase, you get Burrow, you can grab Higgins. And if for some reason you don't get Higgins, you got Boyd way down there, so you can still stack them. It's like I did today. If you look at this one, right, I took Trevor Lawrence and I got Kirk, so I got the stack there. I took Cousins, I got Thielen, I got the stack there. I took DK, I got Geno, I got the stack there. So all my quarterbacks I took, I got stacks too. I got pieces.
Yep. Yes, sir. Hob, do you appreciate you, man? Draft it as much as you can in these. I don't know if you can draft on Underdog here, if it's okay, if it's cool in your state to do it, but definitely they're $10 drafts.
Yeah, I'm on Underdog.
Yeah, use the promo code. Use the promo code Smitty if you do. But yeah, unless you already signed up, like you said. Okay. Yeah, go get all three of those guys on one team, bro. It's possible. Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, man. Y'all be easy.
Call in anytime. Later.
All right.
Ron, anything final you'd like to add?
No, I think I've interjected enough, probably, right?
Yeah, probably. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
All right, later, Ron.
We'll talk later. Bye.
Ron Navy kept it pretty cool tonight. Ron Navy, smooth as the cool side of the pillow, the other side of the pillow, smooth and cool like the other side of the pillow. Ron Navy was not bothered. You couldn't get in his head. He even went around all the negativity around Tyler Scott, took him around 17 instead of waiting until round 20. You can't phase Ron tonight. He's unshakable. Appreciate Blind Larry for calling in and arguing. I don't know what the heck we were talking about, to be honest with you, reflecting back. But somehow, some way, Blind Larry completely going defense attorney on us. And it was at least entertaining. I've got a pick coming up here, 18.6, and then after I make the selection, I'm jumping. Is this one of your guys? I want to say it was the verbiage Ron used was something along those lines. Like it was like, I almost picture Ron like, exhaling all of his air out and then saying it like this. Is that one of your guys? Is that one of your guys? Is this Travis Rowe one of your guys? What's he doing? Get him in line, Smitty. Let's see. I need a wide receiver, don't I? Yes, I do. Let's go DeAndre Carter. Maybe Keenan Allen gets cut. Whoops. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you all. Thank you for drafting with me. It's been a blast. Thank you for talking Alvin Kamara with me. It's been a blast. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm sure we're going live on the quarterbacks. I meant to go live on this. This is tomorrow's video. It'll probably be, I don't know how early we'll do it. It could be very early. Whoops, that's the one that we just did. It could be very early that I dropped this video. Right here. So we'll be talking about Lamar, Derek Carr, Brock Purdy. Actually, there's another one. Brock Purdy I added to this graphic. So Lamar, Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, Derek Carr. We'll be talking about all that tomorrow morning. This Alvin Kamara situation took precedent, so we jumped on that as soon as the video footage dropped. If anybody wants to see the video footage, just go to my Instagram, and you can see the Alvin Kamara footage that got dropped or released kind of tonight, really. I mean, this is what the grand jury looked at to indict him. And so you can go to my Instagram at The Fantasy Football Show, and you can see the footage for yourself. I will see you all later. Appreciate you. To it well. Don't apologize for drafting a monster team, Travis. Later, Lincoln. Appreciate you, pal. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.